And welcome back to Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. It is my great pleasure to welcome back to the program the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, the legendary Bret the Hitman Hart. First off, Bret, thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure.
Bret, this Monday night in Montreal at the Bell Center, last time you were there, it was called the Molson Center. It was way back in 1997, of course, the infamous Screwjob. I was 12 years old at the time. I can tell you how much it means to me to see you back at the Bell Center, but what does it mean to you to come back now to Montreal to see your fans so many years later?
Well, I can't compare it to anything else. I think, when I left the WWE, I always felt bad that what happened in Montreal, and I know that I've been back and forth to Montreal quite a few times over the years, and whether it's in the taxi or just different people stop me on the street. And a lot of people. It seemed like it was something that deeply touched people in Montreal, and the fans there have never forgotten what happened there, and they've always had a bit of a ache in their heart the way I did, and we all kind of felt it together. And I know that I've had a lot of fans very emotionally approach me about Montreal over the years, and in Montreal. And so I know historically in wrestling anyway, it's one of those defining moments for me. But I do think that I know it's a very sort of lousy day for me, that for a long time I was pretty angry and bitter about it. But when I look back on it today, I look back on it as sort of probably my greatest moment. Like, I think I really did the right things that day, including punch out Vince McMahon in the dressing room. I really think that everything I did showed great poise and rational sort of thinking, and even how I handled things with Vince in the dressing room it was just a straight up pump. I don't know how to explain it, but the Wrestling Shadows documentary, I think, did a good enough job to tell people what happened. But I know that it was part of the reason I got voted number 39 greatest Canadian. I think fans felt the same way I do, and I did at the time, and still feel now, that as a Canadian, I was not going to let them tear down my character that day. And I had a lot of misgivings about Shawn Michaels at the time. We were bitter enemies, but the reality of it is that I've gone through other things in my life that rise above that now. And in the end, when you recover from a stroke the way I did in 2002, you learn not to worry about the small things so much. And the real truth of it is that after I look back on my career, I'm still more grateful and more proud of all the great things I did in WWE than the last little bit at the end. Unfortunately, when my brother Owen passed and was killed in that horrible, tragic accident, I think it for a while there even made it uglier for me to think of WWE and my relationship with them. But as time's passed, I'm grateful for all the opportunity that they gave to me, and I'm grateful for all the opportunity they gave to my brother Owen. It was a tragic accident, and looking back on it today, I just kind of wish that things had gone differently. I think it's fair to say that Vince McMahon and maybe Shawn Michaels and a couple others might wish that things had gone a little differently, but I think we're all man enough today to look back on it and go, we did what we did, and there was reasons for doing what we did, and at the same time, I wrote a book and expressed all my thoughts about what happened, and I was very proud of that book, but I think I said everything I needed to say, and when it was all over with, I had nothing left to say anymore, and the more I thought about it, I was still always grateful for the good things that did happen, as being chosen out of that group of wrestlers to be the champion of the company and to carry the torch for the company for the years that I was given that opportunity was quite an honor, and I've always appreciated the faith and trust that Vince McMahon put in me in those days. And I've learned over time to to appreciate the good things that happened working for WWE and Vince McMahon, and and the memories I have with my brother Owen. I'll never forget them, and most of them are really good memories that I take with me. I carry around all the time and bring a lot of smiles to my face when I think of things we did and places we went. And, I'm grateful for all of that. And over the years, I've always wished that there was some way to go back to Montreal, and just, I managed to get back to Madison Square Garden. I managed to make a SummerSlam. I managed to make WrestleMania a couple of years ago in Phoenix. I've done a few things that when I was in my wheelchair, suffering my stroke, that, I never thought I'd ever have those kind of moments again. And, I'm grateful for the few small opportunities that they gave me, and I was always in the back of my head, I wish there was some kind of chance to go back to Montreal, because I know they paraded out different wrestlers pretending to me, and they played my music and tricked fans lots of times and kind of spoofed me and kind of stuck their finger in my eye and a couple of things, little things like that. And now it's like I actually really am coming back, and for me, it's going to be a great moment. I hope I don't. I hope I don't get too carried away with the emotion of it, but to me, it's a happy moment, and I can't wait to get there. And I hope that it's as satisfying for the fans as it will be for me.